It started with a software update that was never supposed to exist. By the time they found the flaw, it was already inside. One vulnerability, 1,000 lives shattered. This isn't fiction, it's your operating system. They left the door open, and someone walked in. Paul Cyber, signing in case file 015. This video is for educational purposes only. We do not endorse illegal activities. Viewer discretion is advised. Before we go any further, ask yourself one thing. If someone knocked on your front door with a crowbar and pried it open in broad daylight, you'd know immediately. You'd call the cops, you'd panic, you'd do something. But what if that same break-in happened in your digital life? Silently, invisibly, through a single software vulnerability you didn't even know existed. No alarms, no screams, no trace, just access granted. Welcome to the terrifying world of software vulnerabilities. The backdoors that were never supposed to be opened. The weakest links in code used not just by hackers, but governments, corporations, syndicates, and even you without knowing. Subscribe now, because by the end of this video, you'll realize what you don't know about your software could already be killing your privacy. You're not watching this by accident. You're the target. Let's begin. It started like most catastrophes with a line of code. Millions of developers around the world write code every day, patching systems, building platforms, upgrading your phones, computers, smart homes, and cars. And in that sea of logic where precision is everything, a single typo, a misconfigured parameter, or a forgotten check becomes a gateway, a vulnerability. And when that vulnerability is found, it's called an exploit. There's a term for the most dangerous kind of exploit. Zero day. Zero day means no patch exists. No one knows it's there except the hacker. And by the time you find out, it's too late. Let me take you back to 2017. The world was shaken by a piece of malicious software that exploited a vulnerability so potent it brought entire nations to their knees. It was called WannaCry. Using a tool leaked from the NSA called Eternal Blue, attackers targeted a vulnerability in Microsoft's SMB protocol. Hospitals in the UK were shut down. Doctors had to cancel surgeries. X-rays were inaccessible. People struggled with their lives. All because a line of code had a flaw. And someone knew how to weaponize it. That's the dark truth behind software vulnerabilities. They're not always discovered by accident. They're hunted by cyber mercenaries, by nation states, by people who trade 0 days for hundreds of thousands of dollars on secret exploit markets. And here's where it gets worse. These markets are real. There's a legal one. Pay hackers to submit vulnerabilities, which they then resell to clients, governments, intelligence agencies, and sometimes contractors with murky affiliations. You don't need to be part of Anonymous. You just need to find a mistake in the code, and someone will pay you for it. But when that exploit falls into the wrong hands, you get what happened in 2021, the Kaseya VSA attack. A remote management software used by thousands of businesses had a vulnerability. It was exploited by the R-Evil ransomware gang to deliver ransomware to over 1,500 companies simultaneously. Grocery stores couldn't open. Point-of-sale systems crashed. IT teams were locked out of their own infrastructure. Some companies paid millions. Others didn't survive the week. And the worst part? The vulnerability had been reported, but the patch wasn't deployed in time. This is how cyber warfare works now. Seconds, not soldiers. In 2020, a teenager in Florida exploited a Twitter backend panel, an internal admin tool. He used basic social engineering to trick an employee, gained access to high-profile accounts, then posted a Bitcoin scam that netted him over $100,000 in hours. The vulnerability wasn't even code-based. It was human. Hackers today don't need brute force. They don't need bombs. They need one employee, one outdated system, one missed update, and the entire defense collapses. That's how Colonial Pipeline, the largest fuel pipeline in the U.S., was paralyzed. An unused VPN account with a weak password. The attackers didn't even need to break anything. They just logged in. So now ask yourself, when was the last time you updated your software? It seems harmless, but every update you ignore could be closing or opening a door to your personal world. Let me tell you about Log4Shell, one of the worst vulnerabilities ever discovered. In December 2021, a flaw in Log4j, a common logging library used in job applications, allowed attackers to execute code remotely on affected servers. Billions of devices were potentially vulnerable. And the exploit? It was as simple as tricking the system into processing a specific string of text. One line, one request, total system compromise. Minecraft servers were attacked, cloud platforms, government systems. Even Apple and Amazon scrambled to patch their infrastructure. It was digital wildfire, and it exposed a disturbing reality. The internet's backbone depends on open source software often maintained by volunteers. No pay, no audits, no security guarantees. That's right, your billion-dollar apps build on unpaid labor. And it only takes one mistake for the entire ecosystem to crumble. And that brings us to the human cost. A single hack is never just technical. Behind every breach is a victim. A woman in California lost her entire savings after a fake browser update installed spyware on her laptop. She clicked Update Now. The malware stole her passwords, logged into her bank, and initiated transfers in the dead of night. By morning, everything was gone. A father in the UK, working from home during lockdown, was tricked into downloading a fake Zoom installer. The installer exploited a known vulnerability in Windows. His webcam was accessed. Private conversations were recorded. His job was terminated after confidential data leaked from his sessions. A small business owner in Nigeria ran an online store powered by WordPress. An outdated plugin with a remote code execution flaw let attackers upload malicious PHP files. They defaced her store, deleted her backups. She lost 6 years of customer data and never recovered. That's what a vulnerability is. It's not just code. It's trauma, shame, fear. It's the feeling that something invisible is always watching, waiting. It's the whisper in your Wi-Fi, the shadow in your inbox, the ghost inside your machine. And every year, it gets worse. In 2023 alone, over 26,447 software vulnerabilities were disclosed. That's 72 a day, one every 20 minutes. And for each one that's reported, how many go unnoticed? How many are sold in silence? How many are being used right now on you? You won't know, not until it's too late. You see, hackers don't break in anymore. They log in. They exploit the vulnerable, the outdated, the unaware. You don't need to be a target to become a victim. You just need to exist online. So what can you do? Here are 5 critical tips to protect yourself from being the next silent victim of software vulnerability. 1. Update everything relentlessly. Always apply software updates immediately. They patch known vulnerabilities. Delaying even a day gives attackers a window. 2. Use a password manager. Unique, strong passwords for each site can stop credential stuffing and brute force attacks, even if one account is compromised. 3. Turn on two-factor authentication, 2FA. This adds an extra layer of protection. Even if your password is leaked, access requires a second device. 4. Avoid suspicious downloads or fake update prompts. Don't install software from unverified sources. Always check the official website. 5. Regularly check data breach alerts. Use services like Have I Been Pawned to monitor your emails and accounts. If compromised, act fast. You may not be a coder. You may not be a hacker. But in this digital world, you are still in the game. And the game is ruthless. Vulnerabilities are like cracks in the foundation of our civilization. And behind each one is a hand waiting to reach through. Protect yourself. Protect your systems. And protect those you care about. Because in this world, there are no warning shots, only aftermath. Paul Cyber, signing out.